Welcome back to One Comic Book a Day for Superboy, Issue 10, the second story, The Toughest School in the World. Now, I actually recorded this last week, but it turned out I didn't actually hit record, so I was just ranting in my apartment for like 5 minutes to myself and my dog, which honestly is a pretty natural occurrence anyways. I really love to like pace and rant about stuff that doesn't really matter. But sometimes I do this and have a camera there, so it was actually for nothing. So I'm going to cover this again today. I'm probably going to be fairly brief because I've already ranted about a story that I don't particularly care for, and that's what I'm starting off here. It's not a particularly good story. It's an interesting story in the sense that it is about Superboy trying to teach three of his fellow classmates a lesson. And I think this gets into my whole thing about like character arcs and teaching characters lessons. Sometimes Superboy doesn't go far enough, like in that bully story I complained about, where he didn't actually see any comeuppance. Nothing really happened to him. And I want to make it clear that what should be happening should mirror sort of the crime or be at the same level. There should have been a moment where he was exposed and saw some consequences. I don't want something like horrific to happen to him. Not for, trying to screw over somebody else. In a school mayor race, I don't want him killed. I just want something to happen where he felt some consequences for his action. So it was like proportionate to the crimes he committed. Other times, Superboy can go a little too extreme with said crimes, and this is what the problem with this story is. So these three kids don't actually want to learn anything, and happen upon like a scam artist with a fake treasure map. He's sort of like a Wilbur Wolfingham type, but it's not Wolfingham, though it could have been if we really wanted to try. Though at this point, he doesn't seem to exist in Superman anymore. If you don't know, Wilbur Wolfingham was a scam artist Superman villain there for the 1940s. Like 7 or 8 stories altogether. So these kids, thinking this treasure is real, is going to go out there. Superboy, instead of letting them actually go out to find the treasure on their own and find that there is no treasure, which is actually pretty proportionate to what's happening. Just let them go out, quit school, spend this time, and just find that there is no treasure, and they've learned a valuable lesson from it. In fact, you don't need Superboy involved in this. Like, there's a sort of proportional response to them thinking they could get by just finding treasure and believing a fake map and quitting school. I think that's completely fine. Superboy goes out of his way to create the treasure and put it in places that are incredibly dangerous, like a volcano. So these kids' lives are way more in danger than they should have been if Superboy had not got involved. And I feel like he's like putting them legitimately to a point where, oh God, something really bad could happen, even with Superboy around. So he takes this to an extreme. I think the problem is the level he's willing to go to teach these kids a lesson, but also it was unnecessary for him to be there. And that's really the point I want to make clear. They would have learned the lesson. It was a perfectly fine lesson by having them go out there and find no treasure, by actually making the treasure. And let's remember that Superboy can just make treasure if he wanted to. He can find gold. He can find lost treasure in sunken ships, which happened quite a few times in Superman when he needed money. So if he ever complains about money or someone needing money, he can just find that money. It is within his powers. No one has to be poor with Superman around. He can just make you money. Of course, that would lead to inflation problems, but still, he can make money, literally. But he just takes it way too far. He is unnecessary to this journey. And I think they needed to find a reason for him to be here or another way for him to teach the lesson. As it is, it's kind of pointless for him to be around and not particularly fun to read. Okay, that is it from Superboy issue 10 in the second story, The Toughest School in the World. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notifications when new video is up. I do this Monday through Friday, but Fridays is Bat Friday, where I cover a Batman story on either Detective Comics or Batman. And until next time, let's ponder the question, whatever did happen to the boy of tomorrow. And seriously, Superboy, try not to get the innocent children killed. Just gonna throw that out there. Okay, have a great day.